Hi, Patrick.
Hello.
How are
Hi. How you doing? I'm well, thank you. How are you?
you? Good, thank you. It's good you're well.
Yes. It's a little hot down here in Arizona, or up here from you guys. I don't know how you think. It's like 109 degrees Fahrenheit here, so it's.
Oh, wow, that's so hot. Have you got your air working?
Oh yes, we went through that last weekend. That was horrible, and it was 114 the day our AC went out.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing.
Yeah, it was kind of miserable, but we got it back on. It just took us several hours. You know, it only cools down. It got up to 90 in the house, so we didn't fare too bad considering. I've heard of people, you know, being stuck with over 100 degrees in their house. So.
Oh, gee, that's so hot.
So we made it through though, and yeah, it's nice and comfortable in here. How's it going down there in Australia? You guys in middle winter, right?
Yeah, it's cold today. It's raining, it's cold.
Man, that's just so weird.
I know, we're a day ahead, so I'm in the future.
So you guys have Christmas in the middle of summer then?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know, it's hot. So Christmas Day is always hot.
Yeah.
I would love to be in one Christmas, have Christmas at the snow. I would love that.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, don't you have some mountains there, right?
Yeah, we do have some mountains.
Maybe go up there during the holiday for Christmas. Go up to where the snow is.
In Victoria, no, it's be hot.
Oh, it's hot.
Do you mean like permanent all year round mountains of snow? Like New Zealand? New Zealand have that, don't they?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. In Australia, in summer, it gets hot all over the country. So the snow's now. I'm near the snow, near one of the mountains, and I know what you mean, but no, because I remember one summer I climbed a mountain near me. Now, yeah, it was no snow. It was in summer.
Everything melted off.
Yeah, it's like Norway. Norway, they have in Norway, it's dust a lot, isn't it? They don't get really light like we do. It's mainly dust a lot. Is that true?
Oh, gotcha.
In Norway? Have you heard that?
About the fire? Because how cold it is?
In Norway, have you heard that it's mainly dust? Like, yeah, it's not. It doesn't get light. Like the sun doesn't come up fully.
Oh yeah, no, that's the way it is in Alaska too during the winter time.
Right? Yeah.
In Juneau, it gets dark at 6 p.m. But up in Anchorage, it gets dark at 3, and then further up in Barrow, Alaska, towards the top, it goes dark for about 30 days.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But it also, in the invert, like right now, they have 24-hour, sunshine. Even in Juneau, it's light until like 12:30 a.m. It'll go dusk, and then it gets bright by 3 o'clock. Anchorage, you can't tell the difference in Anchorage because it's literally like high noon at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can't tell. You got to look at your watch or your phone to see if it's AM or PM, because it's weird. It's weird.
But you got me thinking about Australia. Is there any snow here in summer? No, there's not. But if anyone's watching Australia and knows of any snow in summer, please let me know.
Right.
See how good I was at school, huh?
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. Thank you for watching.
So I'm doing a little music, and if you have some questions, if you'd be so kind as to like and share this cat, and find your way to Patrick OmSoZo on YouTube, that'd be kind of cool too, because I'm looking to get subscribers there. But yeah, I'll pull some cards and do a reading if you got a specific question, and I also do a pendulum yes or no questions.
Yeah. And just hit the PayPal link, only $19.97. They're worth $35, and we can get you in the studio or do audio, or you can do it in the messages. we also get a 1-card reading with me as a bonus at the website.
Yep, we can do that.
So please
see
go
what's
ahead.
going on with your destiny. You know, it's
Yeah.
if you feel an unction, right? If you're on the show, Teresa, where are you at anyway? Morning, Teresa. Hello. Let me know your geographical location.
We've got a couple of viewers. I don't know who they are. Please say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe one of them's Toni.
Hi, Toni.
Tarots. I'm waiting for Toni Love's tarot deck to come out.
Yeah, she's got a couple. She's actually started working on a couple other ones. She's just about done with the first one that she started, and yeah, I can't wait for them to come out. They're getting really close. So.
They're amazing. Teresa's from Kentucky.
Kentucky, all right. Do you have a question or anything? Let me pull a card, do something here. Hello, Donna.
Hello, Donna. How are you? Thank you for tuning in.
Yes, thank you for tuning in. Let me know your geographical location. I find it interesting. Teresa, if you want to ask a question, let me know.
Yeah,
so I play guitar, I do vibrational healing and stuff. Some of the stuff I'm doing right now is kind of bluesy stuff. And
yeah. I like tarots. That's the back of them. They're really pretty.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
They're called the Secret Tarot.
The Secret Tarot. All right.
Yeah.
I like, the artwork and stuff that people do. It's really cool.
Donna's from Alabama.
Alabama. So we got Kentucky and Alabama in the house.
Jesus says, how long have you played guitar for?
Longer than I like to admit. A long time. I started around 12, yeah, and we had our first band in middle school because we all ended up at the same guitar teacher's place. So I started. Oh, what was that? So anyway, and so there was a young man there from a different school that was learning to play bass, and he's the same age. His name's Jay. We're still all friends to this day, and we had a band called Black Ice, and so the guitar teacher would teach us the songs we wanted to play in the band. Like we did AC/DC, like a whole lot of Rosie. We did all kinds of stuff during that era. Dirty Deeds, a lot of AC/DC, obviously. We did Rolling Stones and all that kind of stuff. And we were playing like kegers and stuff at 13 years old. We were in the band, these little dudes. Jeff's brother was like a year younger than us, and he was our drummer, so it was cool. But that's how we'd learn a song for the band, and then we play it in the band. So we ended up coming up with like 3 sets, and then we went from there. We all went our different directions, but and then I got into classical and jazz and stuff, and heavy metals. So I was good friends with Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell and the guys from Alice in Chains, all the guys from Alice in Chains, and learned a lot of stuff. And so I've been playing over 30 some odd years. So I should be better, really. But I don't play as much as I'd like to, and that's why I do it now during these times. Like we're doing readings and such. So I can share a little bit of melody with everybody.
Yeah, everyone loves music, especially
That's a little blues stuff. Should know a little bit about that in Kentucky and Alabama.
I'm just sitting here listening to that, chilling. I love it.
All right. So they're just hanging out. Oh, this is over there. All right.
That was awesome. I love it.
So do we have any questions or anybody want
No,
ratings?
yeah.
Another thing is, if anybody has any spiritual testimony, something awesome has happened in your life and you want to post it over in comments to encourage someone, that would be nice.
It will
It's always good. It would be very nice. Lots of spiritual stuff. The veil seems rather thin these days. So I'm sure a lot of people are having experiences, and it's good to talk about it, because the more we stir that up, the more it'll happen, those connections. Because it talks about, in the Bible, for example, faith comes from hearing, and hearing a word from God. Of course, a lot of the churchianity likes to say a word from God, logos, but it means a living word, a rhema word from God, a living word. And sure, it could come from the Bible, but at the same time, it could come right now through a text and a positive thing, a miracle that happened in your life,
Yeah.
That's a rhema word too. And so therefore faith can become. It can become from that testimony. When you tell people what you've been through, right, Kat? It's a invitation for them to believe.
Yeah.
People talking about anything as far as that goes. When you're hearing someone speak to you, you have a choice to believe them or not, regardless if you're talking about McDonald's or politics. I mean, it's funny. Like, I posted on Facebook on my personal page, about Trump signing this executive order. I don't want to bring this up. I'm not trying to be political, but just to make a point. There was no judgment as like, hey, this just happened, and then people just attack you, say, no, that didn't happen. He can't do it. I'm not going to debate that. I'm just telling you, kind of like a news thing, right? I'm not saying it was right or wrong. I'm just telling you it happened, and they're turning around and tell me that it didn't happen when I watch it happen on the TV. It's not something that he was talking about doing. It's something he did. So these people were making themselves look like complete idiots, And and not to mention this, I wasn't even debating whether it was good or bad. It was just making a point. Hey, this is happening. If you didn't know.
Yeah.
So, if I could find that next.
I don't like to post things about Trump because I get attacked too.
Yeah, you just get attacked. It's a really one-sided deal, so you can't deal with that. So I just stay away because I don't want to offend anybody. I really, whatever's happening is going to happen. I mean, if you really care, then get out and vote. You know, if you're complaining and you don't vote, then shut up, because you have every right to vote. If you're 18 or older, or whatever, then you have a say. And people, I get so tired of that, because it's like, that's why I do what I do. That's why I do life coaching and such. I can give you, because I'm a certified wellness practitioner, which includes certifications in life coaching and hypnotherapy. But my goal is to give you tools, something practical that you can take forward. Not just say, hey, what you're doing sucks. Right? That's so. It just don't go nowhere. You got to have something substantial. Okay, make better choices. Itemize your choices and whatever you're looking at, and be honest. What is negative and what is positive? Because the universe is polarity, right? It's all electrical. It's not gravitational. It's electrical. Everything. And science has come around. Quantum physics is proving this. The smallest particle in the universe that we can see, at least, is waveform. That's this. Right? That's what I'm speaking. That's creating a waveform. These lights are a waveform. This video is a waveform. And so, you know what I'm saying. So, what am I saying? I kind of got off on a tangent there.
Teresa said she doesn't post stuff like that either. Teresa said she doesn't post stuff like that either. Like what you're talking about.
I actually lost a close friend because of gotten into a debate with one of their friends who was being mean, and all I did was respond appropriately, because you get under my skin, I'm going to kick you out, right? And so they were being rude first, and I just let them have it. My uncle taught me, he grew up in Alaska, and says he's a longshoreman, a logger, and everything. He's like, the most vicious wins. And unfortunately, that's the way it is, especially when you're talking about a debate with someone stupid, because they're not even listening to you. I always come from a place of love. But when I seen that leave the room, then you're going to get what you get. You mess with the bulls, you get the horns, right? Or you mess with the rams, I'm a Capricorn, you're going to get the horns. I can't help that. That's the way I'm wired. So don't crawl under my skin. You won't experience that. So I don't give people an opportunity normally to crawl under my skin by not posting. But it's a shame that we have to be the more mature ones. That we can't in a healthy way communicate what we're thinking about, whatever politics or whatever. People should be allowed to do that. I respect other people's right to not agree with me. I don't. Just because someone wants to vote a different way, I really don't look at, I might wonder why. I just don't see why they do that. But I still respect them as a human being, and to have their own right to think however they want to think. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't make them bad or good. It just makes them different. And I like to celebrate our differences. And I've been attacked just for that. They literally accused me of lying when they caught me in a false thing, because I put this post up and I didn't fact check it, and it bit me. It came back. This guy was, on the other people's thing, just let me have it, and so I did fact check it. He was right. I got back on the chat and I said, I am sorry. I didn't fact check this. You are right, et cetera, et cetera. And he still continued to attack me. He's like, you're lying. He called me a liar. He's like, I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, I guess there's people who do that, who lie, about, admitting when you're wrong. How is that in any way making myself look good? I'm just admitted to you that, I was stupid in what I posted because I didn't check the facts. I'm not arguing that. It was wrong. So, but it continued. I finally had to literally go block him just in case. I blocked him and all his friends. He wouldn't stop the attack. And this guy works for our government, literally. And it's like, so, and he has a real strong opinion about the opposite side. I'm not going to say which side is which side, but, he's very passionate, but he's so passionate that he's blind. And that's what we got to watch out. people who have a tendency to be passionate. I don't know who's Liz Teresa, is Donna's still on. You know, passion is a good thing, and we need that in our lives. But at the same time, we need to recognize when we're being overwhelming or overbearing, right? We gotta watch when you have a powerful gift of expression and communication like I do. I can talk over people all day long and not even realize it. You know what I'm saying? Not intentionally wanting to talk over them or do it, you know, trying to demean them, but it gets perceived like that because I'm in the moment and I'm being passionate and it's coming out. But now I've learned to temper myself and kind of take a break, find my pauses and take a look around to see if anybody's running, you know, because you know what I'm saying? Did I just chase anybody away, you know? So that's my goal is, hey, listen, we can agree to disagree, but you have every right to your opinion, and I'll listen to it too. Doesn't mean I'll agree with it, but it will mean I will respect it. My goodness, you're a human being, you know?
Exactly.
If we can get back to a place where people respect each other, you know, this is a voluntary thing. It has to be done voluntarily, okay? A democratic society, number one, we're a republic in America. We're not a democracy. We're a democratic republic, meaning back to the people, republic. You know, so we're a republic, but we're a democratic republic. And so, you know, bottom line is you have to voluntarily follow laws, right, Kat? Go in the speed limit. You have to voluntarily go the speed limit. If not, it don't work. If everybody decides, and you're going to have people, and I call them the shopping cart people, because they don't put back the shopping carts at the store, right? You have two kinds of people in this world. You got the people who put back the shopping carts, you know, to a station. Not necessarily, some are overachievers. They take them all the way back in the store. I think that's just a little overkill, but you know my point. Anyway, and then you have those that'll leave their cart right there, you know? And I'd be like, wow. But really, the people who are leaving the cart right there have a sense of entitlement, right? They figure, and they're true, it's absolutely a fact. There are people that work for the store that come out and gather the carts, right? And so, but technically they're to come out to gather the carts from where the carts, you know, section are, you know, where you put the carts away, not just from all over random parking lot, you know? And so their feeling is not that they hate the store or they're being lazy. They just figure, you know, someone's paid to do this, so I'm just going to let them do their job. And that's not necessarily wrong, right? Because I used to be kind of like, oh, what a dick. That's such a dick move. Leave your cart, you know?
Yeah.
And but now I understand that they're not trying to be dicks. They're just entitled. They just feel entitled. And that's the problem in a democratic republic. You have all these underachievers that feel entitled right now in our country, right? Entitled to a paycheck, entitled to destroy stuff out of the name of protest, you know? Listen, freedom, you know, First Amendment, yes, all day long. I am 1000% behind that, but that says specifically peaceful. It says right in the verbiage in the Constitution, peaceful. You know, violent protest, you're breaking the law now. So now you're no longer protesting. You're just a criminal, and you've lost everybody's respect. You know, so what people are doing is just become terrorists. You know, they've looked at these countries in the Middle East and their tactics, and it's like, well, it works for them. So now they're going into neighborhoods, right? They're going into suburbs. They're not just sticking to the cities now because they want everybody to be uncomfortable. That's their goal. We don't want anybody to become, there's no compromise on their list of demands. Well, that don't work in a democracy. You're in the wrong country. Go to what is it? North Korea or China. There you go. China's perfect. They're a capital communist country. And that means they have capitalism like us, but their communism, you know, you don't want to get in trouble in China, man. They're mean. They're really mean. So anyway, I go off on all that to say, you know, we need to respect each other's opinions voluntarily. We should not be made to accept someone else's opinion whether it's fact or not, right? And you should have the right to disagree with that in a peaceful way. Why can't we do that? You know, where did that go in this world? You know, you used to be able to, you know, have a conversation. Maybe it gets a little heated, and then you guys come back to the conclusion that neither one of you are budging, and you say, okay, well, we just agreed to disagree, I guess. And it's like, okay, you shake hands and go have a drink. That's the way it used to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But now if you just don't agree with someone, and it's not just in politics, anywhere, you got these trolls that just come on and they'll just go right at your throat, man. They go right at your throat, insulting, and they just waste no time. It's like, where you guys, what do you do for a living? You know, why are you doing this? I watch, you know, YouTube videos of very peaceful people, not even a political thing. It's like something about Bigfoot, and they'll be thumbs down on it, you know? Like, what's wrong with the video? Why do you have to be so negative? Negativity is a choice, you know? It really is. You can look at a glass as, well, a third full or a third empty, right? Or 2/3 empty in this case. But, you know, I choose to look at that glass as 1/3 full, right? That's it. And I'm an optimist, you know? And that's the way I choose to look at, not everything. I mean, my wife can attest to it. You know, I have my triggers, you know, but there again, when I realize there's a trigger after I've calmed down, you know, I try to use hindsight and go back and go, why am I triggered? You know, and then I try to deal with that in like a emotional freedom tapping. There's EFT is one techniques I do. And you know, you got to settle your parasympathetic nervous system. You know, you have to calm that down. We're all in a state of fight or flight most of the time, with everything coming in and stimulating us. You know, even just a riff like, you know, like I did earlier, this it's real fast. You know, that moves, you know, but it's like, you know, now your blood's going, now you're fight or flight, even though you're not emotionally in a scared position, but you're like, you know, that's not rest or relaxation. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not. But you can put yourself, you can take the same instrument and do something like, right, real soft, and it totally, the vibrations, everything just comes.
Yeah, changed.
Yeah, and then you start getting to that rest. That's why vibrational therapy is really good to do. Find all kinds of free stuff. If you want a session, I do also blow the shofar. One night. So, and this has brought lots of healing for people. It brings peace. And it does work, you know, remotely over online, as long as you're wearing headphones and such. So, but that's a vibration. That's a natural Fibonacci curve. I get those Greek terms and stuff all mixed up, but that's a sacred geometry that happened in nature, right? This was not man-made. This came off an animal called a nunu in Africa, over by Israel and stuff. This horn actually came from Jerusalem. And right? And you can do like really low tones. Right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, it can bring emotional healing. It can bring physical healing. I've had people physically healed. There was a lady, you talk about faith coming in from hearing and hearing from the word of God. I'm speaking from the Rhema word, experiential, like it doesn't necessarily mean it came from the Bible, but like a testimony. So this testimony, we're at a service because we came out of real structured Christianity. And at the time, right before we came out, you know, we were really flowing, and I was blowing the shofar, doing all kinds of stuff that people would roll their eyes at. But I really had a word. This lady had had been in a car injury, and she was up front, and a bunch of people were praying over her, right? This very charismatic church. We were just guests there, just there attending. And but I felt strongly, I got an unction, right? I got an excitement, that feeling you get. I was like, I need to blow this horn on her shoulder. Was the main thing. It was really bad, I guess. And so I went respectfully to the pastor over the whole church, right? While all this is going down, they're praying up, they're praying, and I asked him quietly. I was like, I really feel I should blow this horn on her shoulder. What do you think? I didn't say I was going to go do it. I just said I asked his permission, and he gave me permission. So I went up and did it, and she got healed. But and it was all the people. It wasn't just the horn, but it was the combination, right? The combination. People were speaking light language, tongues, right? That's tongues, I got a testimony about that. I used to not be I was like, gosh, I want this, right? Everybody seemed like everybody get the gift. We were in Holy Roller kind of church and stuff. And this guy came through. He's like an apostle. He travels all over the world. And we had a really cool exposure there, being that Juneau is the capital of Alaska. So we get a lot of big speakers in. And the events most of the time would be like, if they were really popular, there might be a couple hundred people, right? Sometimes there'd be as few as like 20. And to these people that normally spoke to crowds of like 30, 40,000 people, So we got to get up close. And I developed a relationship with this guy because he came in through town about 3 times a year. And everything he spoke over me came true. I mean, his prophecy is, I want to say his name because he might not appreciate where I'm at, because a lot of those people are looking through the filter of Christianity and they see divination as bad, even though everything in the Bible has been fulfilled as far as the Torah and the Tanakh. And, everything that Jesus did actually fulfilled the punctuation. So the kingdom of God is spirit, right? Spirit and love and joy and peace and gifts. It talks about many gifts. And so, in fact, they said there's so many gifts that they wouldn't have enough books to put it in. So the best judge of gifts, as far as doing what we're doing and stuff that normal Christianity would frown upon and call us, witches or whatever, and I was there, I was one of those people. My eyes were open because I was going for it. I was fasting. We had angels around us, literal angels around us. The wind would blow every time we ministered in closed rooms, it was wild. And so, bottom line is my eyes were open in the desert when I got down to Arizona on our spirit. That happened after that lady's shoulder was healed. We ended up leaving Alaska and ended up in Arizona in the desert 9 months after we started this stuff. And I had the revelation, the awakening, right? Another born again experience, so to speak, because I believe in being born again. It's not a salvation from hell, and it can look different for every person. To be born again is become new, right? Whatever it is, maybe you found your new self doing yoga. Man, as a Christian, they'd frown all over that. But what if you totally transformed? You lost weight, you make money, whatever, right? It's a positive fruit. The fruit that you get from it is good. And that's what you have to weigh as a spiritual person. I'm a modern day mystic. I know what to look for, man. I know when dealing with wizards and warlocks and witches and such like that, who's good and who's not, man. And when I say not, it's a benign thing. Not all angels are good either. You understand? Not all some holy angels you don't want to come across, because it's not something you want to experience. But and that goes for those people. Some will be good sometimes and bad the others. Listen, that comes back to the India, the whole belief and over in Asia and such with the karma, right? Karma is they're just not understanding, when they're delving into the black arts and such, they will reap that. It might not be this life, but it might be the next, but it will be dharma. Now, dharma is what you reap in this life. Whatever you do in this life, it's the energy that comes back pretty much simultaneously or down the road, right? Yeah. And so, and it's just like what you would think of karma, but they call it dharma. It gets misinterpreted all the time. But, I've studied this stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's not like I woke up and just decided to talk about this because I seen a good Facebook thing. I've spent 20 years or more. I've fasted. I've literally held on to the heart of God at one point and seen my name all over the heart, this massive white heart, and
amazing.
Yeah, we stood in the glory. You could see it, the white mist. You could walk out of the room, look back in the room, and right at the doorway, it was like a veil. and you could walk through it, and it was like pure oxygen and just joy.
Yeah.
And drunkenness, man, you just get so drunk in the spirit of God, which is just joy. I mean, so much you can't even hardly walk. It gets so heavy.
Yeah.
You know?
You and Toni make me feel like that, like I'm drunk when I speak to you too.
Yeah, that's the moving of the spirit. That's what we call. Okay, this is called new wine, right, Kat?
Okay.
That's the rhema word. That's talking about the gifts and the power and the presence.
Yeah.
You know, and the fruit. Learning how to recognize the fruit. There's so many people that disguise discernment.
Yeah.
And they say it's discernment, but really they're just judgmental pricks.
Yeah.
You know, they're just judge. Yeah. And guess what? Judge not, lest you be judged by the same measure you used. Okay? You know, a lot of people end that. Well, guess what? Those people at some point are going to experience exactly what they're giving out. You know, it's just that's dharma, or it could be karma in another life. And that comes back to healing. Like maybe you're having issues with relationships or such, you know. Maybe do a past life regression. I do those for people. You can go and look, or you can have someone like Toni, and I'm not sure if you move that way, but she sees their past lives. She can actually see your celestial family, like what star family you're from and stuff. I don't move like that, but I could help you through the cards and through intuition and such. And I can also do hypnotherapy, which is self-hypnosis. So I simply guide you through your own experience of self-hypnosis, right? And hypnosis is just bringing stuff to a point. It's a fine focus, and you focus so finely that you relax. It puts you in that rest and relaxation. When you go in through an induction, or maybe we'll do a guided meditation today before we finish or something, it'll put you in that state of healing, you know. And that in itself, even if you don't have any other experience from that point on through the induction, you're receiving something good, you know. So but you know, I've led people back, and once you look at whatever's causing whatever that karma is that you're living out right now, once you look at it, it just goes away. It resolves. It's like we're required to go look at our mistake one more time in this life, and or whatever caused it, right? I don't know. You know, I can't really think of something like maybe you were a bad parent in a former life, right? And so therefore you have a problem with relationships or conceiving children. Maybe it's conceiving children, okay? And you can't conceive because you're reaping the karma because you abused your children in the former life, right?
Yeah.
Now life won't give you those children, but if that person who cannot conceive were to go back and look at that past life through an induction, they will conceive a child after that.
Yeah.
If they're having sex, they're not gonna, unless they're like Mother Mary, miraculous conception. But you know what I'm saying. So it will heal. It will heal the body. You know, I've seen it happen. You know, not like that. We've had people healed of not being able to conceive, but that's in Toni's realm, more Toni's realm.
Okay.
But just so you know, so once you look at it, even doing it yourself, you can do it yourself. You don't have to have someone lead you to do a past life regression. You need something pre-recorded. Anyway, so, but once you look at those things, the healing happens. Same thing really in this life. If you're honest with yourself and you can look back over let's say you look at last 10 years of your life or the last 20 years, you know, do some evaluation, right? So, what they call shadow work, you know, look in your past, not for the sake of dwelling on it or bringing it back up, but in the form of to touch it and rewrite the story, even like go back to that point in your life that was such a disaster, or you know, something really horrible happened to you, or abuse, and then you write a new story. You delete that one and you write a new story, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Kat?
No, it does.
Yeah.
I've heard that.
It's one of the techniques I use. You know, it's an NLP. There's also physical stuff we do when I'm in person, in the sense of just anchoring and such. You know.
Okay.
So that's a little harder to do remotely,
Okay.
but it can work if you have a partner with you that can sit in on the session and they can follow my instructions, and they can anchor you, and that's a useful tool. Anchoring is very valuable. I definitely and I do like neuro-linguistic programming, which is, like I said, EFT, which is a form of tapping. That's not the only. There's so many different modalities in NLP in itself, but a lot of them you have to be in person. But you can do some funny. NLP is what they use for stage hypnosis. Okay, that's what those guys are using, and that's how come they can put them right in a trance and such. It's used with words, the way you talk, and touching the people, and maybe jerking them. You can walk up to a person when you know what you're doing and just give them a quick, and they'll go right under. But anyway, so NLP can be very healing, especially when you're dealing with negative emotions. EFT is great. I helped a lady. Here's a testimony. A lady in Arizona. This was back in 2009. We did a psychic fair here over in Mesa, and these two black ladies came in, a mother and a daughter, and the daughter was probably in her 40s or so, and she sat down, and we started working through her. She had been raped, 20, 30 years before this. I guess it's a pretty horrible deal, obviously, and had been living with this trauma for 30 years, I'd say at least 30 years. And very down, the demeanor was very down, everything. So we started working through her, doing these tapping points and the breathing, and I use the name of God. I breathe in Yah and I exhale Wei. So right. Anyway, so I did this like 3 times through the whole procession. There's several different points. It's acupressure too. That's another form. So anyway, and by the 3rd time, you could see this dark mass leave her. I mean, it just, everybody's seen it. I mean, people like gasped around the room. This is in a big hotel conference room with like 100 tables, maybe 150 tables. I don't know. And we were not on the wall, but we were 1 row in. So a lot of people could see what we were doing, And we had their attention because we were one of the only really professing Christians, right, in the bunch, and we were just rocking people. It was awesome, man. People got just blown away many times. But she got totally healed 3 times. 15 minutes of work. She walked out of there free from a lifetime of torment or whatever she was experiencing. It was gone. It was that. I mean, her whole demeanor, her face changed. You know what I mean? She lit up. She was glowing. I mean, glowing.
Wow.
So that's what NLP can do. That's what EFT, emotional freedom tapping. Google it if you need it. It's very good. Listen, practitioners, I'm talking PhD psychologists use this technique for acute patients, people that are having breakdowns, absolutely losing their shit. They use this technique. I know this because my sister's a PhD psychologist, and she was over 9/11, the whole team for the response for dealing with all the emotional, for the people there, intense. So and I didn't even know she was using this technique until we were talking. We used to have the healing rooms. I told her, I'm doing this tapping thing. She goes, oh, yeah, I use the same thing in my practice for acute patients. It's really successful. So addictions, if someone can't stop doing heroin or if they're, they're an alcoholic or whatever, you work through this and you use some positive affirmations. Google it, And I tell you what, it will help you. It's not just a spiritual airy fairy thing. This is a physiological reaction your body has to the pressure, the tapping. Yeah. That's your energy field, right? You guys have heard of like acupuncture and stuff like that. It's a form of acupressure, okay? Acupressure. And it's effective. And you do have to do it. Sometimes you have to keep doing it until you do your shadow work, right? And find out the root causes of your addiction. Why are you coping? And I cope. Hey, listen, and I have pain in my body. I smoke cannabis legally. I have a cannabis card. And I like my wine once in a while. I like some vodka. That I don't, everything in moderation, right? So don't beat yourself up. But if you're an addict and you want to stop something, then EFT, emotional freedom tapping, is an excellent first step, because it'll get you under control right now. If you're jonesing out right now for a fix, you do that EFT thing 3-4 times through, take 15 minutes for your life and dedicate it to doing that procedure. You won't be jonesing at the end of it. You know what I mean? It'll just go away. It'll go away. Yeah.
Does it help with smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, it works on everything, man. Yeah, if you want to quit smoking, that's a really good one. I can do an induction on you too. So every time you go to put a cigarette in your mouth, you think of a piece of poop. Or something that totally disgusts you. That's some of the techniques of using hypnotherapy to quit smoking, or cessation of any kind, right? Is to take the flavor away, give it something else. If I tell you right now about, describe biting into a lemon, right? You slice the lemon and you cut it up into little corners and you stick it in your mouth. If you've ever had a lemon, right now your mouth is probably watering, right? You're having a physiological reaction to just the description of eating a lemon. It'll happen. My mouth's starting to water too now. So that's how powerful, that's why hypnotherapy works. That's why NLP works, especially when you combine the NLP with affirmations. Realize everywhere. I agree. Saying there's a lot. So what do you think of John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness work? I'm always down for mindfulness work. I'm not familiar with that person specifically, Sandy, but being mindful, that's really what I'm talking about here, right? Paying attention to how you're feeling. That's important, of course. Loving yourself, because you can't love someone else really. I mean, you fake it, we do it, but the best love comes from a person that's resolved within themselves, that they care for themselves, and love yourself so you can love your neighbor. And anyway, being mindful of your thoughts and opinions when you're around other people, right? So I don't want people to have ab reactions, be mad at me because of my political stance or whatever, because it just doesn't matter. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So, and as far as whether or not you think I'm a healer or not, it's like, what can you do? You have to experience. It's like trying to talk someone into believing in God, right? It's like, that's why I got so much into energy work and working with the Holy Spirit, that, when I put my hand on someone, there was fire, you know what I'm saying? Positive fire, but fire nonetheless. And it was nothing painful, but they knew they were experiencing something. Even complete atheists were not safe around me and Toni at all, because stuff would just happen you cannot explain, every day, doesn't matter what store or wherever. Oh, I'm not, the cash register, I've never seen this before. I heard that every day for a long time. I still hear it once in a while, not near as much, but the more you press in, the more the angels are hanging around you, and your guides or your ancestors. I'm big on, I believe those things. You want to make sure they've crossed over first, because they want to have the right energy, right? Because dead things kill things. You know what I'm saying? When you're still in a place of death and you haven't resolved your crossing over, you need to resolve that before you can come back and be an earth angel or whatever it is you want to do. You got to cross over first. That's the rules. I didn't make the rules. I don't know who made the rules, but that's the way it seems to work. Let's put it that way. And so, and it's not a bad thing. It's like, death is, we all, and I have the same thing when it comes to death. You were talking about the near-death experiences and everything, and we can resolve a lot of that through EFT too, as far as just having that feeling of anxiety. You can get rid of that. But really, we never stop. The energy never ceases. So when we leave our body, we're just going to be in another realm with people that we know. There's going to be people familiar to us and teachers and such. If you're in a Christian, maybe they respect that thing. As far as whatever. If you're Hindu and such, right? I think it's whatever filter you had on when you left, and then they sort it all out afterwards. They're like, okay, so this is who we really are now, and this is what you're doing. You're actually a soul, and you're on a journey. And what's next? Let me show you. You know. So, and you can look at life between life, Kat. They have life between life inductions. I do those too, but that's like a 3-4 hour event. And but it also, you need to probably have a good 3 inductions, you know, like hour inductions before that, leading up to it, so you're really comfortable with the process. And then I take you between your lives, between this life and the last life, or between the life from the last life to the last, etc. Right? So we can go back and visit those moments. You can, you know, meet your soul group and stuff like that. It's, you know, this very interesting. It's like, what is your imagination? What can your imagination perceive? What can you come up with? You know what I'm saying? And we can do it. You know, we can do it. That's how powerful we are. But we're so detached. You know, we're so stuck in the physical, and we're so worried about imagination and everything. It's like, you know, when it's a tool, it's a tool. So
just saying I'm glowing.
What's going on? He's a doctor, brought yoga, meditation. Okay,
it happens when Toni does the singing bowl and you play guitar. You both put me in a trance, and I try to step out of it. I can't step out of it.
Because that's that theta, puts you down in that theta, that meditational, relaxed,
All right.
No idea what's coming up.
Oh, Toni's going to be doing, you're going to be, we got it hooked up so that the mic goes through a special deal, and she's going to be doing her bowls and singing with you here.
Hello. Hello.
So she's coming on next, right? It's going to be you and Toni next.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I lost everybody.
Yes, I'm set up.
Yeah, so she got her bowl. So be prepared to
fall asleep.
Expand.
Oh, get drunk in the spirit.
Get drunk in some new wine.
I feel like I'm drunk from listening to the guitar. Now I'm going to hear the singing bowl. I might fall asleep.
Yeah, and that'd be all right if you fall asleep. You know, we used to encourage sleeping services, and people would fall asleep. But guess what? Subconsciously, you're still getting everything in the atmosphere. You know, when you're promoting the angelic movement and the love and living water and, you know, light and liberty, all those things, and just get, you know, you get that new wine going, man.
Yeah.
New wine.
Listen, music is so relaxing, good for the soul. It is. And Toni said hi to Toni.
Toni said hi to Toni.
Yeah.
Oh, indica. Yeah, indica will do it too. That's what I smoke most of the time. But I've been doing hybrid stuff during the day, and you know, cannabis is a healing thing. I need it for my back. You know, it doesn't take the pain away, but allows me to function. You know, to accept the pain, so to speak, and still relax, so I can kind of get creative and not be so snappy, right? Because from being like, you know, when you're in acute pain all the time, like my hips and stuff like that.
Mine.
So and you know, so music is good. It's All right, so I think we're coming down to the end.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. So hopefully you guys tune back in for Toni the Global Healer. She's going to be doing the singing bowls and singing in light language, and going to be lots of new wine flowing for you guys.
She's up in an hour, isn't she?
Yeah. I'm sometime after this, yes.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Good. Oh, thank you for your show, Patrick. It was really good. I think you had us all in a trance.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for the opportunity, Kat. I appreciate it very much.
You're welcome. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you all again soon.
Shalom.